I just wanted to get on and introduce myself. My name is Brittney Long, and I'm part of the Royal Republic. I wanted to kind of give you my story as to how I got into coaching. So for about 5 years, I worked in the corporate industry. I worked in the alarm industry specifically, dealing with their compliance and licensing, as well as dealing with the sales representatives that would be going door to door and the technicians installing the alarm systems. So basically, I've always kind of had a sour attitude when it comes to sales representatives because I was dealing with mainly men who were in their young 20s and 30s and were making very good money, were very proud of who they were, and I just didn't care for the sales representatives because in the alarm industry, it's so knock on the door, make the sale, hope it goes through, totally not scam the customer because everything was trying to be compliant, but it was definitely just all about the sale. Nobody cared really about that customer after they left the house. And for me, I just thought that was sad. And being in the corporate side of it all, I mean, there obviously are amazing people in it, but being in the corporate side, I was working for the boss man. I was the person who was devoting everything in me to excel in my job, but I didn't have anything to show for it. I had tons of hours worked. I was stressed out all the time with migraines. I literally hated it. I could not just go home from work without getting phone calls and emails and text, and I couldn't just be with my family. And I always felt like I'm such a hard worker, and there's just always been something inside of me that felt like I had a passion for something, and I wanted to help people. I wanted to make a difference in the world. I didn't want to work my ass off and have nothing to show for it and build somebody else's success. So through this whole time, I had started to discover clean eating after I had my now 4-year-old son. This was a few years ago. And I started to discover clean eating and along with incorporating P90X. And on this journey, I love Instagram, I love showing pictures, and so I just started sharing my journey and taking my meals at work and things like that. And Alyssa Shoemaker reached out to me and, was so sweet. You're inspiring. Are you a coach? You're sharing with people anyways? Why don't you do coaching? It seems like something you would love. And so we talked and talked and talked, and man, Alyssa and I talked for about a year before I really was ready to feel like I could make that commitment. And honestly, I wish I would have done it sooner, but everything's in the timing it's supposed to be. So, so I really had to focus on what I wanted to do. When I finally decided to say yes, I had actually gotten laid off from my job. Seriously, a blessing in disguise. And at that point, when I finally was able to be at home with my son, it was like, this is everything I wanted. I will figure something out so I don't have to go back to that corporate world. I want to be that successful businesswoman, and I always did. And when you have kids, as most of you know, your priorities and everything changes. And so I knew there had to be a way to be with my son and be the mom and the wife and be able to stay at home and do the things I wanted, but then also be me and be that businesswoman and savvy and use my, my hardworking skills to help me and my family, and then also to be able to help people. And so when I finally decided to do it, coming up with the money to actually enroll for us at that time, because I had been laid off and everything and money was tight, I saved up. I saved up for the $40 and knew that $15 would be coming out every month. But it's been completely worth it, and I'm so glad I did. For me, I love helping people, and I love being able to talk with people and work things through and be like, sister, you got this. Like, every woman needs to be empowered, because I've been there. I've been so depressed and so sad, and seen what working out and eating well has done for my body and my mental state. And for me, that's been the biggest thing I tell, the girls I work with is The physical changes obviously are awesome, but that's kind of a perk. For me to be happy and healthy and have energy to be with my son, and be a good wife and not want to cry about everything or just feel in the dumps and blue, that is totally worth it. And something I found, with my coaching is obviously being in the challenge group and then being a coach as well, the accountability for myself has went through the roof. And that's when the results have just totally started coming through. And working on myself through personal development and getting to know who I am and what faults I can, maybe shift around. Being a coach has really just made all these mental shifts that I've needed to be just amazingly happy. And having a place for me, and being a part of the sisterhood that we have with Royal Republic is priceless, because social media unfortunately can be so negative and people putting each other down and people just complaining, and then to go to a challenge group or to the Coach Royal Republic page and for women to sit and empower each other and to motivate you and inspire you, and they want nothing more for you to succeed. That's not found very often, unfortunately, and especially with women who tend to tear each other down. It is insane, the positive atmosphere that I have and kind of the escape from that, and then it makes you realize how amazing the world really is through all the negative things that are happening. So that's one of the things I really, really love about, the challenge groups, and then also being a part of the coaching family. And then, like I said, the accountability for myself has been awesome, and I've learned new things about myself and personal development and just physically changing and then also mentally changing and becoming that happy person I am, and then learning how to be that, the girl boss and taking charge and doing the things I know I can. I'm working hard, but I'm working hard for my family and myself and growing, the empire that I want instead of somebody else's dreams. So with that, I've been able to, help with extra bills right now, gas money, which at first, like I said, the $40 was a lot. So coming up with gas money for my husband to get to work was just crazy. And it's starting to get the momentum where, I'm making the difference with my girls that I'm working with and hearing their amazing stories. But then also on the flip side, I'm seeing the results within my business and being able to help my family. And like I said, afford gas or afford groceries, not have to be embarrassed in the checkout line about my card declining, or being able to just go get an ice cream with my son if I want, instead of being like, no, sorry, honey, it's awesome. And the biggest thing is just leading by example and taking charge of that, because I want to be the person I feel like I was meant here to be, and use the passions I have to help others, and then also show my son, because he's young and watching me, that if you set out to do something, you can do it. Whether that's through your fitness goals, whatever your dreams are, or making a business, I'm going to use my passions and my desires to do that. And I hope that if you feel this way, that you give it a shot, because honestly, you never know what you're going to find out about yourself, or just to have that escape. Like I said, the positive atmosphere, if you need that in your life, this is the place. And it's awesome to be able to share your journey with people and inspire others. And then also, be able to benefit that from a little bit as far as an income. So I'm excited to get to know the rest of you more, and I hope my story wasn't too long and it all made sense. But yeah, I'm excited to see where you all go, and thanks for joining us.